All right, United States taking on Panama Saturday in Austin. Of course, Mauricio Pochettino's debut as U.S. manager, the big storyline for this one. Let's hear from some of the players after their first sessions under Poch.
It's intense. I mean, we had a pretty long session. I'd say one of the longer ones we've had with the national team set up.
Yesterday we were kind of straight into training, and it was a tough session. So we were kind of right. We're here to work. So it was definitely intense. It definitely feels like camp's going to be a period where we'll have time to enjoy it, but we're going to work hard and really build towards success.
One thing that we know for sure that we've really rehashed is the intensity of what we want to play at. We want to play at a high intensity. We want to play in the other team's half. We want to have possession of the ball. And yeah, I think what he wants is just a confident team, and that's what we're going to be. The
message is that he wants to win, right? He has his principles, he has his ideas, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. And it's important to have that mentality. It's important to have that mindset going forward, and leading into these games and beyond that.
All right, Kasey, Keller, it is still early days here, but you like what you're hearing from the boys ahead of Pochettino's debut?
Well, I mean, could you imagine if it's a new manager's first match in charge and the players went through the motion and weren't intense? I mean, I think that was the standard for number one, was that it was going to be intense, that people were going to do everything they can. What's the old adage? You have one chance to make a first impression, and obviously everybody was very motivated to be able to do that. Now, a lot of players missing from this camp. We know that. Maybe that gives an opportunity to a couple people that maybe would not have been there, and they get a chance to impress and see where that goes from there. And I think, what did I read the other day? That there's like 10 camps before the World Cup. So, not a lot of opportunities to be able to really show the new manager who's who and who's what and who can do what. And so, take every opportunity you get. And, again, I expect intensity at the minimum. And now I want to see a combination between the intensity that we've seen at times that have lacked from this team, except for when they play Mexico. At times, some quality, some decision-making that goes wandering at times. So, I'd like to see if Pochettino and the staff can be able to get a level of consistency. We just got done talking about Rodrigo de Paul and lack of consistency. Well, this United States national team has been the poster child of lack of consistency. And let's see if kind of that new manager bump can be able to start that.
Herc, to Kasey's point, when we hear these guys talking, we hear a lot about effort and intensity, kind of the basics, which have been an issue, right, around this team. Do you have any worry that maybe some of that or all of that or a lot of that is just down to the players and that Pochettino won't be able to actually get that out of them?
No. Some of these players can lack character, can lack intensity, can lack personality on the field in some moments. But because of how they're being led, because of how they've seen things should be done. But you establish the culture I would say it doesn't even have to be the coach. You should already have that culture established amongst the players. And Kasey's absolutely right. That should be the bare minimum. I'm laughing a little bit inside because for a few reasons. I can't believe that's what we're asking of this team. The bare minimum. We know they have talent. We know they played on some unbelievable platforms. We know they've been in the Premier League and the Serie A. We know they've been in La Liga. We know they've been gifted more advantages than any other generation in U.S. soccer history. And we're sitting here asking them to work hard. At least do that. That to me is laughable. And second, could you imagine if it was an American coach who comes here and we're seeing these sound bites of, and then you run when you lose the ball, and you have to work hard, and intensity, and all these different buzzwords. They would be going like, you stupid Americans. This is why you don't get anywhere. You have to have somebody who's coached at the highest of levels to come and tell you to do that, the basics. It blows my mind. So I understand where you're trying to go here with that, Seb. I really do. Some of these players need that. Some of these players have never had that. And it's about time. If you're not used to working hard when you put that jersey on, you shouldn't be there. That's the bare minimum. I could understand if technically, tactically, it's not your day, but that's the bare minimum.
Kasey, you got any expectations for Saturday against Panama? Aside from kind of the intangibles, the intensity, the effort, all that garbage, is there anything you want to see from this team or for anybody in particular, maybe your old position, goalies, somebody making that first impression to Pochettino?
I think what I'd really love to see is try to overplay out of the back, give a bunch of balls away, give Panama a bunch of chances out of nothing. Because, or are we going to learn something? Are we going to say, you know what? Let's go back to basics. Let's be hard to beat first and foremost. Let's compete for every ball, and then let's let our talent rise above Panama's talent. But first and foremost, win the fight, use your brain, and if winning is paramount, and that's some conversations we keep hearing about Pochettino in the camp, and that's what he really wants to stress. Yes, we want to play a particular day. Yes, we want to do this. Yes, we want to do that. But first and foremost, we need to win. Well, sometimes doing silly things makes it really difficult for you to win. So let's, first and foremost, let's be smart. To Herc's point, let's at the minimum outwork your opponent, and then the talent should rise after that.
Herc, give me a scoreline for Saturday. El Primo is thinking big win for the United States by more than 1.5 goals.
Yes, I agree. I would tell you, Primo, I would go 2.5 goals on this one. I've been speaking to our colleague Juancho down in Panama, and he's talking about how many players will be missing for Panama, not a full-strength squad.
Same thing with said at Copa America, huh? Same thing with said at Copa America.
Yeah, well, to Kasey's point, don't do anything stupid. You don't get a red card, you win that game. So do what you have to do to win that game. That's not the game that I think they should be worried about. They shouldn't look ahead, but you should be able to take care of a depleted Panama at home. And if I could piggyback off what you asked Kasey about, there are some players here that should be chomping at the bit to take this opportunity. There's a situation with the goalkeepers right now where I don't think any three of us feel safe enough to say this is the starter and will be the starter to the World Cup. There's a situation right now with the center backs where there's health issues and your main center backs aren't here. And Tim Ream, this could be the last hurrah. There's a situation with the sixth position and Tyler Adams, and Johnny Cardoso, who's not been able to take that opportunity, is not in this camp. Yunus Musa doesn't even play anymore for Milan. He's not a starter, so there's something going on there. Luca De La Torre, he's not here as well. Weston McKennie, you've proven it with Juventus. Can you prove it with the national team? And then Timothy Weah's not here. Who wants to put up their hands and say, you know what, he made a mistake. Let me capitalize off this. Let me make that mine. And then the 9th position. Folarin Balogun has been given opportunity after opportunity, and we finally started seeing a bit of a light, and he's not here due to a shoulder injury. Josh Sargent has played, 30 minutes since the World Cup? Josh Sargent was actually at last camp when they played Canada and when they played New Zealand, and doesn't feature for Mikey Veras. And we're sitting here asking why. And I come to find out, due to his own words in this presser, on these series of pressers that they've been doing, he still has that ankle injury, and it's still lingering. And every time he gets called up, it gets inflamed with the travel. It's a situation right where if I'm a 9, if I'm a Brandon Vasquez, if I'm a Haji Wright, and I see this going on, and there's no Folarin Balogun, Ricardo Pepi, that position's mine. So somebody has to stake claim here. That's what I want to see, stake claim.
I guess the people at CNN, when they asked Pochettino about the job at Argentina, he said, quote, even though there are so many great Argentine managers, coaching the Argentina national team could happen as well if the opportunity presents itself. Herc, does this worry you at all?
No, because I don't expect Pochettino to be here past 2026, if I'm being honest. So it's not like Argentina's going to come
JT
and
Batson
swoop
told
in
us
for
there was
him.
a chance. Told us there was a chance, huh?
Sure, I guess there's a chance, right? There's a chance the U.S. could win the World Cup. There's a chance that, this could turn the U.S. into a footballing country and you never look back and you took control. There's a chance for everything, Seb. But realistically, I think I always thought about this as a one and done for Mauricio Pochettino. And the fact that he's bringing up Argentina now just kind of solidifies that, confirms that he's looking at this World Cup and then deuces, I am out. It sucks to hear if you're a U.S. men's national team fan, if you're the U.S. Soccer Federation. Listen, I don't know anybody who is with somebody and that somebody is openly talking about being with other people and it's enjoyable. That's not a good feeling to have. So, it's the writing on the wall here. He obviously sees an opportunity and may capitalize on it.
Kasey, what do you think about the possibility of Pochettino remaining with the United States after the 2026 World Cup? Would you like to see it?
Well, I think if he was 65, 70 maybe, and he thought, you know what, this is kind of cool. I can, kind of retire here and coach and then look for kind of life afterwards. But I think at his age, I think more than his goal of coaching Argentina, where, let's be honest, anybody in a footballing nation dreams of coaching their national team at some time. Out of context, of course, who wouldn't think that Mauricio Pochettino one time would love to coach Argentina? I mean, of course he would. There's no question about that. I still think he has goals to get back to, a top 10 club in European football, and then eventually coach Argentina. I think this just worked out really well with the circumstances at Chelsea, not having to qualify, being able to live in London, watch the American players. I just think this was more of just a perfect storm. A couple hedge fund guys paying the bills. I think this was just one of those, perfect storm situations for U.S. soccer where they were able to get Mauricio Pochettino at this time.
Seb, if you think about it, there are no Argentine coaches right now with a better resume. I mean, Scaloni aside, if you look at the Argentine coaches right now in that plane.
Yeah, Cholo would be the one.
He's only coached at Atletico. I mean, Pochettino's coached at Spurs, PSG, Chelsea. Neither have really won. I guess Cholo won La Liga. That's about it. A couple of Champions League finals. But that would be his biggest competition. So why wouldn't he think that he would be up for it or to be a possibility?
Yeah, no, good shout. 2026, we think he'll be in charge of the U.S. team. Maybe 2030, he'll be in charge of Argentina.